Pretty much the first day we were throwing was a I was throwing a crankbait on practice, and the fish that I lost, I was throwing a KVD 2.5 that my buddy had. And the reason why I was throwing my buddy's crankbait is that the airports lost my luggage, so yeah, I had to deal with that. Pretty much, if you're not fishing with confidence baits, which a 2.5 is a pretty good confidence bait for me, but ever since I've been throwing these Lucky Craft baits, I just have so much more confidence in them, and I just didn't feel right throwing that 2.5. Plus, it wasn't my crankbait, and so there's something to be said about really having confidence in your bait and throwing your bait that you like, and try to get bit on that. And I mean, we could have probably flipped, and I mean, there's so much water over there that's not good that that you could flip all day and not get a single bite. I'm sure the guys that won it, I didn't know what they were using, but I'm sure they were flipping, pitching. I heard they were pitching lightweight with some worms. But like they always say in the pros, say fish with your confidence baits, and the water temp was to where I think they were moving around enough, and it was post spawn that I was just gonna fish crankbait and some moving baits. So the first day we were throwing of the tournament, I was throwing a BDS 3, not this one. It was in this color here, but it was a smaller profile here. And I already did a section on this about these square bills. But I'm trying to, on this video, I'm going to show the importance of how you fish them, because if you're not hitting something, you're not getting bit. And the first day when we pulled up to one of those boat channels, I was throwing this bait, and my buddy was throwing the KVD 2.5, and I was throwing a BDS 3. Now I caught that short fish, or I caught a smaller fish, and then I caught the 5-pounder. Well, thinking back and remembering, when I caught that 5-pounder, we were sitting way out from the channel going in, and I made a super long cast, and it bumped the bottom, and that's when that 5-pounder ate it. Well, I really didn't take that in consideration, the whole tournament going on, whatnot, and I just getting excited to catch a big fish that I didn't really think about, exactly until later on during the day, but then it was too late. So later that night, and also I was switching between the colors. I was switching between this color chartreuse, because the water was had a little bit of a tannic water color to it, and then the little bit more clear color. So then that night, that day, I was thinking about it, and I wasn't hitting the bottom quite as well as I wanted to, and I thought there was a lot of junk on the bottom, like some old grass and mud and stuff like that, but it's not as much as you would think. So I switched over to these BDS 4s, and if anybody knows me in cranking, I always do the 1-2 punch. Have either two different brands, one with rattles, one without rattles, colors, sizes. I always try to have two different crankbaits, so once you get that school fired up, you can continuously just hammer it in there, and if you get one caught up in the net, you can grab your other crankbait and throw it out there, because when they're feeding, they'll hit anything. Because there was one fish, I threw it in there, caught a 2-pounder with this one, and then I threw in there with this one and caught a 3.5, and the other fish had this one on the outside of the mouth, and that 3.5 had this one thing this one head first all the way down in his mouth. So once you get that school fired up, you know, you want to be able to throw it out there really fast. But make sure you have a, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I mean, I always do a 1-2 punch. And if you're not hitting something with it, you better be making it, you better make action with it, you know, snapping it, jerking it. And that kind of separates, you know, from you not getting bit, because that's what we were doing on the first day. And on the second day, I was hitting the bottom with these deeper crankbaits and these bigger bodied and a lot more, you know, they give off a lot more vibration, and we were getting bit a lot more. And actually, we pulled up to the first spot and I caught 3 fish, probably in like 3 casts, or probably 7 or 8 casts. I caught 3 fish, like right in a row, real quick. And my buddy was throwing the BDS3 because I told him that, you know, he should throw these, and I didn't have any more BDS4s with me. So he was throwing this bait. He was throwing on 20-pound test, and his casts weren't as far as I was getting mine out there. And he was, you know, he asked me, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I said, well, I think the key right now is that you got to be bumping the bottom. And as soon as I said that, he did the old Paul Elias neon reel, and the first cast he did with that, he caught a fish. So that was really the key. That was really the key for those fish, is that you need to have it bumping the bottom, because they were sitting on, because there was nothing out in those boat channels. If you go over those boat channels, there's nothing, there's no cover there. All they pretty much do is just, I think they just sit there and just kind of roam around, and they're sitting so far, so close to the bottom that you can't really pick them up on your graph. But I mean, I didn't ever pick a fish up on the graphs, but they were there, you know. And so make sure when you're throwing these, you know, if you're throwing them in open water, I know they hunt pretty good, and but, you know, either stop, you know, jerk it, pop it, or be hitting trees, or be hitting the bottom, you know, because I think if I would have had the BDS4s on the first day, I would have picked up probably a couple more bigger fish. But I mean, I didn't figure that out till later. So I think that's about it that, you know, that I can cover about the tournament. And you know, I was pretty happy with it. So thanks for watching my video.